Hello everyone, I am Pallabi Das this side. I am currently working as an assistant professor of psychology in the School of Education at University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. Well, today I am here to give you a overview of the topic psychological capital and its various components like hope, resilience and optimism. Before starting off with the topic, let's take the example of a person. The name of the person is Mohan. Okay? So Mohan is a BTech student. He is in his final year of his college and he is an extremely bright student. Right? In the final semester, he has been placed in a very good company, and he is one of those students who has been offered the highest package. Right. So he has accepted the offer. He is very happy. Then what happens is that when his work is about to begin, that time the world was hit by COVID. Okay. Because of COVID, his work has been withheld. Right. And this circumstance has made him more and more upset, depressed and lonely, because he had nothing to do. He couldn't think of what should be done at that point of time, because all his peers were doing something or other, but he was put on hold by his company. Then what happened is that after few days of remaining upset, depressed, he thought that why not think about this situation in a different way? Why not take this situation in a positive way and instead learn some other skills that would help him to prosper in the future? Okay, although he doesn't have any opportunity as such, earning opportunity as such. Okay? So he thought of joining some online course. Okay? Online course as well as learning a new language, then improving his communication skills. So he has utilized the time wisely to invest in other stuffs. Then what happened? He has become so much skilled in all these aspects that after a certain point of time, he has been offered a very good job, offering a good package, and he happily accepted it, and now he is doing very well in his life. So what does this case tell us about? This case tells us about how psychological capital is important for a person to prosper in life. Okay. So let's understand now what is psychological capital. So psychological capital is basically those mental resources or the internal resources which are present in every human beings that helps to boost the well-being of a person, that helps a person to deal with tough situations or challenging situations. Okay. So psychological capital is important in every area of our life. It's not just about being personally strong, it's about being personally strong in organizations, in other settings such as your schools, colleges, then your home, everywhere maintaining the psychological capital is extremely important for every human being. Okay? Even in organizations, let's take the example of organizations. Organizations are characterized by stiff competition, yes, then deadlines, rules and regulations. So there are many challenges which every employee has to adhere to. So in order to deal with those challenges, it's extremely important for people to make use of their personal resources like hope, resilience, optimism, self-efficacy to deal with those circumstances easily, okay, without any kind of hassle. So now let's understand about the four components. I'll be focusing on the three components basically, that is hope, optimism and resilience, right? and it is also known as your hero. Hero means H stands for hope, E stands for efficacy, R stands for resilience, O stands for optimism. Okay. First, let's understand what is hope. So, hope is about a motivational state, okay, which comprises of goal-directed energy and also the pathways, or you can say the ways in which we can meet our goals. Okay. So these together combined, that is the goal-directed energy as well as the pathway that would help us to achieve the goal, okay, helps a person to effectively achieve his or her desired goal. All right. And it's also written that hope is related to work performance and also is related to physical as well as mental health of every human being. When you're hopeful about something, you think positively about that thing, right? That yes, if you're hopeful to become an IS officer, then that hope will drive you towards more and more positive behaviors. Okay, that will direct you towards reaching that ambition, and you will engage in those behaviors which will help you desire that. Okay, you will keep on doing hard work, you will keep on practicing, okay, until and unless your goal is being achieved. So that is all about your hope. Okay. So we are clear with hope. Now we'll be proceeding to optimism, right? Let's understand what is optimism. So optimism is about the interpretation of the events or things in our lives, okay, in a positive way. It's about having positive aspiration about something. Okay, you don't think negatively about any event. It's always about positivity, optimistic. You are having an optimistic personality. What does it mean? It means that you see things from a positive light instead of focusing on the negative aspects. All right. So this is about your optimism. So optimism is not only about the attribution of positive events in life, but it also involves taking into account the past events, the present context as well as the future. Okay, functioning in a disciplined manner. So when we talk about optimism is not just about thinking about things in a positive way, but it is also about taking into account the past incidents which have happened or past experiences which has happened to a person, the present scenario which a person is encountering, and also the future prospects which might happen. All right. So keeping all this into consideration, a person learns to become optimistic in nature. All right. And optimism has also been said to be correlated with other several aspects of life, such as your authentic happiness, then life satisfaction, okay, as well as work performance. So we can say that optimism has a positive correlation with other aspects of life, okay, like satisfaction, then happiness, workplace performance, work engagement, etc., etc. Now let's understand about the third aspect of psychological capital, which is resilience. What does resilient mean? Resilient means to bounce back from any kind of adversity or to deal with setbacks effectively. People who are high on resilience, they can deal with stressful situations in a very positive way, and also they learn to adapt to the surroundings accordingly. Okay, according to their temperament, they can learn to adapt in a very positive way. And certain mechanisms which people who are high on resilience use, okay, to positively cope with stressful situations are as follows. For example, like maintaining strong social support, okay, by being in the company of people who they believe would aid them mentally as well as emotionally, they can easily cope up with challenging situations. So this is one of the ways in which resilient people deal with challenging events. The second way in which they deal with challenging events are your having effective problem solving skills. That is, whenever they encounter a challenging situation, they analyze those situations, those problems in a systematic way, so that they understand that what the problem actually is. Okay, so only after having a proper understanding of the problem, proper analysis of the problem, the person will be able to deal effectively with the situation. Okay, the next way in which resilient people deal with stressful situations are your having effective emotional regulation. Okay, so it happens that most of the time whenever we are encountered by a very stressful situation, we decide to just react in a situation instead of understanding a situation or having knowledge about our own emotions. So people who are highly resilient, they are said to be also emotionally intelligent. Okay, they have good hold over their emotions whenever any such kind of situation arises, and hence they are able to cope up with adversities very smoothly, right? The next way in which the next way in which resilient people are able to handle tough situations is by having the sense of control. They feel like they feel that there is a strong internal locus of control, and they think that their actions have a huge impact on the situation. Okay, the situations which they are in, those situations are shaped by their own actions. So it is only when their actions could be changed, okay, or their actions could be modified, then only the problem could be solved. So hence it is known as resilient people have a strong sense of internal locus of control, right? So these are the ways in which resilient people deal with stressful situations, right? Next is that, so now let's focus on how psychological capital can be developed among people as a part of positive psychology discipline. So till now we all have understood about how the various components of psychological capital are essential, okay, are essential in our life to achieve our goals, right? So now we'll be focusing on how this specific traits would be developed in different settings, be it workplace, be it family, school, etc. Right? First point would be to promote self-talk. Because self-talk is a very important phenomenon which needs to be practiced, especially in workplaces, because whenever a person is able to talk to himself or herself, the person gets to know more, okay, where he or she is lacking or where the problem lies actually, okay, and in that way the person will be able to positively reframe the situation, okay, instead of thinking about the problem from a negative point of view. So this is one aspect. The next is having a team of positive people and supportive people. So whenever you're surrounded with very like-minded people and people who are genuine to you, okay, in different settings, you get the strength to overcome any stressful situation, right? You get the support, you know that where you have to work upon so that your goal is met, Okay, and in that way your hope for getting things solved also gets fulfilled. Okay, this is another method. The next is your by setting realistic goals, the goals which could be actually achieved. So when you set achievable and realistic goals, you become motivated to fulfill them, right? Feel that yes, it's not that difficult to be achieved, so I can do it. You are personally much more inclined towards moving in that direction, all right? So this is another point through which psychological capital could be developed in human beings, right? The next is your by the power of feedback. Yes, so whenever you are doing any kind of work, okay, in your workplace or in your home, any kind of work, you can ask for feedback from your elders, from your managers. Okay, so whenever you ask for feedback, you feel appreciated. Either you can feel appreciated or demotivated if you do not do the work in a proper manner. But again, that demotivation can also act as a motivator for you to improve yourself further. How? By reframing that situation completely. So instead of taking the feedback from the managers in a negative way, you reframe that situation on a positive note and try to implement that in your workplace later on, right? So this is about the power of feedback, which should be maintained everywhere, all right? So yes, so these are some of the ways in which you can develop the personal resources which would help you to boost your self-esteem as well as to boost your well-being in life. So thank you so much. I hope you all have enjoyed this session and understood whatever I've taught. Thank you.